She begs me to fix our marriage, but after sleeping with my best friend, there's no going back. And yet, behind that plea was a truth so dark, it shattered everything I thought I knew about love and loyalty. I used to believe love was sacred. I used to think loyalty was the glue that held a marriage together. For 17 years, I kept every promise I made. I told myself that as long as I stayed faithful, patient, and committed, nothing could break us. But tonight, staring at my phone with shaking hands, I realized how wrong I was. The message came from my best friend's wife, Sarah. At first, I thought it was a joke, some cruel mistake. But the screenshots she sent left no room for doubt. My wife's name. My best friend's name. Hotel bookings. Lunch meetups. Words like "miss you" and "can't wait for our weekend." My heart stopped. I whispered to myself, no, not again. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. My chest burned like someone had shoved a knife through me. I sat on the couch, gripping the phone so hard I thought it would shatter. Sarah called me. Her voice was sharp, angry, trembling. "You need to see this for yourself," she said. I couldn't keep quiet anymore. I swallowed hard. How long? Months. Maybe longer. I only found out because I checked his phone. "I'm sorry, but you deserve to know." I didn't thank her. I couldn't. My throat locked. I just muttered, "Yeah," and hung up. The door creaked open. My wife, Emily, walked in. She smiled faintly, like nothing in the world was wrong. She carried grocery bags, humming under her breath. I stared at her, unable to breathe. "Hey," she said. "What's wrong? You look pale." I raised the phone. My hand shook. "What the hell is this?" Her smile dropped. She froze, eyes darting to the screen. "Where did you? Don't play dumb. Hotels? Lunch breaks? A weekend getaway with him?" My voice cracked. She dropped the bags. "I can explain." "Explain?" I barked. "Explain how you crawl into my best friend's bed while I'm at work? Explain how you betray me again after everything?" Her lips trembled. She stepped closer. "Please, just let me talk." I backed away. "Talk? The screenshots are talking for you." The front door opened again. My best friend, Mark, stepped inside like he owned the place. He froze when he saw my face. "Oh shit." I glared at him. "Perfect timing. Care to explain how you've been screwing my wife behind my back?" He raised his hands. "Listen, man, it's not what you think." "Not what I think?" I cut him off. "Then what the hell is it, Mark? Because from where I stand, it looks exactly like betrayal." Emily whispered, "Stop yelling." "The kids." "The kids?" I snapped. "You didn't think of the kids when you were sneaking into hotels, did you?" Mark sighed, rubbing his forehead. "It just happened, okay? We didn't plan it." "Didn't plan it?" I laughed bitterly. "So all those bookings just magically appeared? The lunch breaks, the texts, the getaway? That wasn't planning?" Emily's eyes filled with tears. I felt neglected. "You've been distant, always tired, always busy." Mark listened to me. He made me feel wanted. Her words sliced deeper than any knife. "So that's your excuse? I work my ass off to provide for you and the kids, and because I come home tired, you decide to sleep with my best friend?" "Don't twist it," she started. "I'm twisting nothing," I snapped. "You twisted everything." Mark muttered, "Look, I didn't mean to hurt you." I lunged forward, my voice shaking with rage. "Didn't mean to? You were my brother, Mark. I trusted you with everything. And this is what you do? You take my wife? You betray my family?" He lowered his head. "I messed up." "Messed up?" I spat. "That's what you call it?" Emily grabbed my arm. "Please, don't end this. We can fix it." I yanked my arm free. "Fix it? You broke it beyond repair. This isn't the first time, Emily. How many times am I supposed to forgive? How many times do I play the fool? She sobbed. I swear, this time it was different. I love you. I was just weak. Weak? I whispered. My voice shook. No. You were selfish. And now everything we built is gone. Silence filled the room. I stared at both of them, the two people I trusted most, standing side by side, guilty and pathetic. Finally, I muttered, "Get out, Mark. Don't ever set foot in my house again." He looked at Emily, then at me, and left without another word. The door slammed shut. Emily reached for me. "Please. Don't do this. Don't throw away 17 years. I laughed coldly. 17 years? You already threw them away. You just didn't care enough to notice." She fell to her knees, crying. "I'll do anything. I'll beg if I have to. Just don't leave me." I turned my back. My chest heaved, my mind spiraling. I wanted to scream, to break something, to cry, but all I could do was stand there, hollow. She whispered behind me, "I can change. I'll make it right. Please." I clenched my fists. "You can't change the past. You can't erase the images burned into my mind. You can't undo the betrayal. You killed us, Emily. You killed us." The room was quiet except for her sobs. I walked into the bedroom, shut the door, and collapsed on the bed. My phone still buzzed with Sarah's messages, more proof, more reminders. I turned it off and stared at the ceiling, drowning in a storm I never asked for. For 17 years, I believed in loyalty. For 17 years, I gave everything I had. And in one night, it all crumbled. I whispered to the dark, "I don't love her anymore." And for the first time, I knew it was true. The silence in the house was suffocating. Emily sat at the edge of the couch, twisting her fingers together. I paced the floor, my phone still in my hand, my chest burning. The proof was there. The betrayal wasn't some rumor. It was real. I stopped in front of her. "How long?" She kept her head down. "Does it matter? Answer me." My voice shook. "How long have you been sleeping with him?" Her eyes flicked up at me, wet and desperate. "A few months. Maybe longer." I laughed bitterly. "Months. Of lies. While I came home, hugged the kids, kissed you goodnight, you were sneaking around with him." She whispered, "It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like? Enlighten me. Because from where I stand, it looks like you destroyed our marriage with my best friend." She reached for me, but I stepped back. "I felt alone," she said. "You've been so busy, so tired, always working." Mark, he listened. He saw me. I clenched my fists. "You're telling me you cheated because I was tired? Because I worked to keep this family afloat?" Her lips trembled. "You don't understand. He made me feel wanted." "Wanted?" My voice cracked. "I've wanted you every day for 17 years. I never strayed. I had chances, but I stayed loyal. And you throw it away because you wanted more attention?" The door opened. Mark stepped inside, cautious, like a man walking into fire. He glanced at Emily, then at me. "We need to talk." I glared at him. "Talk? You should be on your knees begging, not strolling in here like nothing happened." He sighed. "I'm sorry. I never meant for this to happen." "Never meant for this to happen?" I barked. Months of lies, hotel rooms, secret texts, what part of that was an accident? He raised his hands. "It started small." She vented to me, I comforted her. One thing led to another. I shook my head in disbelief. "You comforted her? You were supposed to have my back, not crawl into my bed through her." Emily's voice cracked. "Stop screaming. The kids are upstairs." I froze, my heart aching. My kids. Innocent, sleeping, unaware their mother had just shattered their world. I lowered my voice, but it came out sharp. "You didn't think of them when you did this. Don't bring them into your excuses now. Mark muttered, we didn't want to hurt you. You didn't want to hurt me? I stepped closer. Every time you touched her, you stabbed me in the back. Every kiss, every text was a knife. Don't stand there and tell me you cared. He looked down. I know I screwed up. You destroyed everything. I shouted. You were my brother. You held my kids in your arms. You ate at my table. And behind my back, you betrayed me with the one person who promised to love me forever. Emily sobbed. I didn't stop it. I should have, but you didn't, I cut her off. Because you didn't want to. Because you liked it. She shook her head violently. No, I love you. I've always loved you. Don't say that word. I snapped. You don't get to say love after what you've done. The room spun with rage. My chest heaved. I wanted to punch him, to scream at her, to tear the walls down. But all I did was stand there, broken. Mark whispered, maybe you two can work it out. I'll back away. I stared at him in disbelief. You think this is fixable? You think after this I can just smile and pretend nothing happened? Emily grabbed my arm. Please, don't give up on us. We've been together half our lives. The kids need us. I yanked my arm free. Don't use the kids as your shield. They didn't choose this. You did. Her tears fell harder. I swear, it was a mistake. I got lost. I'll do anything to make it right. You can't make it right, I whispered. You can't erase the images in my head. You can't undo the betrayal. Mark muttered, if you want, I'll tell the kids it was my fault. My stomach twisted. You won't say a word to them. They don't need to hear about your filth. He nodded, ashamed. I turned to Emily. Do you know what this feels like? To look at you and see every lie replaying in my head? To remember every time I trusted you, forgave you, believed in you, and realize it was all for nothing? She sobbed harder. I'm begging you. Don't leave me. Beg all you want, I said coldly. My heart's already gone. The silence stretched. The weight of betrayal pressed down until I could barely breathe. I thought of my kids upstairs, safe in their beds, dreaming, unaware of the storm waiting for them when they woke up. I whispered, they deserved better than this. Emily whispered back, so did I. Her words stunned me. Better than what? A husband who never cheated? A father who stayed? A man who gave you everything? She looked up, desperate. Better than feeling invisible. My hands shook. So your solution was to make me invisible too? To erase me from my own marriage? She covered her face and cried. Mark shifted uncomfortably. I should go. Damn right you should, I growled. And don't ever come near me or my family again. He nodded, shame plastered across his face, and walked out. The door slammed. Emily reached for me again. Please. Don't let this be the end. I stared at her. The woman I once thought was my partner, my safe place, now nothing but a stranger wearing her face. My voice cracked. It already is. She collapsed on the floor, sobbing into her hands. I walked upstairs, each step heavier than the last. I peeked into my kids' rooms, 3 little faces, peaceful, innocent, dreaming of tomorrow. My heart ached. I whispered to myself, I'll protect them. No matter what. And in that moment, I knew. My marriage was over. The silence was the loudest sound in the house. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the faint hum of the fan. My wife shifted beside me, her breathing steady, like she had no trouble sleeping. I whispered to myself, how do you sleep so peacefully when I can't close my eyes for even a minute without replaying everything? I turned, closed my eyes, but the screenshots flashed in my head again. Her words, his words, the laughing emojis, the secret plans. Every replay was like a knife turning deeper. In the morning, she tried to talk. Do you want tea? She asked softly, almost as if nothing had happened. I looked at her. Tea? That's what you think we need right now? Her lips trembled. I was just trying to keep things normal. For the kids. Normal died the moment you betrayed me, I said, my voice sharp but quiet, because I knew the kids were in the next room. She blinked quickly, fighting tears. Can we at least not do this in front of them? I leaned in, my whisper full of venom. Every time I look at you, I see him. And you expect me to pretend? She stayed silent. I stood up, walked out of the kitchen, and sat in the lounge. The kids came running in, all energy and smiles. Daddy! Breakfast time, my youngest shouted, pulling my hand. I forced a smile. Yeah, let's go. They didn't know. They couldn't know. To them, we were still a family. And that broke me more than anything else. That night, insomnia came back with full force. I tossed and turned until finally I got up, went outside, and sat on the porch. My brother called. You sound dead, he said. I haven't slept in 3 nights, I admitted. Every time I close my eyes, it's there. Their voices, their lies. William, you can't keep living like this, he said firmly. You need to start thinking logically. Lawyers, custody, money. I can't, I cut in. The kids, they don't deserve this. I don't want them dragged into a war. He sighed. They're already in the middle of it. You're just shielding them for now. But long term? You'll break down, and when you do, who's going to take care of them? I swallowed hard. You're saying I should end it? I'm saying you should protect yourself. You can't heal while you're living with her. Every day under the same roof is poison. I didn't answer. He knew I wasn't ready. The next day, her mother showed up. She sat across from me in the lounge, sipping tea like she owned the house. You're punishing her, she said finally. I let out a bitter laugh. Punishing? She destroyed me. And you're worried about her feelings? She's my daughter, she snapped. Do you think she's the only one at fault? Maybe if you had given her more attention, she wouldn't have looked elsewhere. My fists clenched. Are you seriously blaming me for her sleeping with my best friend? She's lonely, her mother insisted. Women have needs too. Marriage is about 2 people, not 1. Maybe you should reflect. I leaned forward, my voice sharp. I was loyal. I was faithful. I turned down temptations you will never even imagine, because I believed in vows. Don't you dare put her sins on me. She looked away but didn't apologize. Instead, she said, think of the children. Do you want them growing up in a broken home? They already are, I whispered. She stayed quiet after that. But her words lingered. Guilt mixed with rage inside me. That night, my wife tried again. I know you hate me, she said in a trembling voice. But we can't go on like this. Please, let's at least talk. Talk? I laughed bitterly. All you did was talk to him behind my back. I read everything, remember? You wanted him. Not me. So what's left to say? She shook her head. It wasn't like that. I felt invisible. I kept telling you, but you were always busy. Work, stress, everything but me. I shot back instantly. So you decided to solve that by crawling into his arms? Her tears spilled. I made a mistake. A terrible one. But do you have to keep punishing me every single day? Yes, I said coldly. Because every second I breathe in this house, I'm choking on what you did. She sobbed quietly. The kids were asleep, and the silence between us felt like a wall that no words could break. Days passed like this. Silence, broken only by small talk about groceries, bills, the kids' homework. Every word was a mask. Behind it, there was poison. At night, my mind replayed everything. I saw her with him, even though I hadn't witnessed it. My imagination painted scenes crueler than any truth could be. Sleep became impossible. My brother visited one evening. You look like a ghost, he said bluntly. I feel like one, I admitted. Listen, you need a plan, he said, lowering his voice so she wouldn't hear from the other room. Talk to a lawyer. File for custody. Don't let her twist this against you. I rubbed my face. I don't know if I have the strength. He grabbed my shoulder. Then borrow mine. But don't sit here and rot. Later that night, I confronted her mother again. You came here to protect her, but did you ever think about me? I asked. She sighed. You're a man. Men are stronger. You'll survive this. But she's fragile. Fragile? I snapped. She destroyed me and you're calling her fragile? You don't understand a mother's heart, she said quietly. I stood up. No, you don't understand mine. My heart is bleeding every day, but I still smile for my kids. That's strength. That's loyalty. That's what she never gave me. She had no answer. She just left, muttering prayers under her breath. The nights grew heavier. Silence became unbearable. Every time she walked past me, I felt my chest tighten. I avoided her eyes because looking at her was like staring at betrayal itself. One night, I broke down. Sitting alone in the lounge, I whispered, why wasn't I enough? My brother called again. You're drowning, he said after I told him everything. I am, I whispered. Then stop waiting for her to throw you a rope. Swim out yourself. I started sleeping on the couch after that. When the kids asked why, I said, Daddy snores too much. They laughed and believed me. Innocence was their blessing. But every night, as I lay on the couch staring at the ceiling, I wondered how much longer I could keep living in this silence. The betrayal had already carved me hollow. Now the silence was burying me alive. And in that suffocating quiet, I realized something: the marriage wasn't broken, it was dead. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, her eyes red and swollen. For once, she didn't pretend everything was normal. She just stared at me, like she was gathering the courage to speak. Finally, she whispered, I have an idea. I raised an eyebrow. Another excuse? No, she said quickly. A solution. Something that might fix this. I leaned back, folding my arms. Go on. I could use a laugh. Her voice trembled. What if I gave you a free pass? I frowned. A what? She swallowed hard. A free pass. To be with other women. Anyone you want. As long as you don't leave me. The silence that followed was deafening. I stared at her, waiting for her to say it was a sick joke. But she didn't. She just sat there, wringing her hands, like she had just made the most generous offer in the world. My chest tightened. You're serious? She nodded. Yes. If you need to, if you want to. I won't stop you. Just don't walk away from us. From the kids. I laughed bitterly. That's your solution? You destroy our vows, and now you're turning marriage into a barter system? You cheat, and your answer is to hand me permission to do the same? Her eyes filled with tears. I'm trying to save us. Save us? I snapped. You've reduced our marriage to a cheap deal. You're offering me bodies when what I wanted was loyalty. Do you even hear yourself? She buried her face in her hands. I'm begging you. Don't end this. Don't throw away everything we built. I slammed my fist against the table, making her flinch. Everything we built? You tore it down yourself. And now you're telling me to climb into the rubble and call it home? She sobbed louder, her voice breaking. I don't know what else to do. Please, think of the kids. I stood, pacing the kitchen. My mind spun, my pulse racing. Every word out of her mouth felt like poison. Don't you dare use them to keep me chained here. Don't you dare hide behind them. I'm not hiding, she cried. I'm fighting. For us. For them. I turned, glaring. Fighting? You betrayed me, and now you're bargaining with my soul. You're not fighting, you're clinging. And I'm done being the one you cling to. Her voice grew desperate. I'll do anything. I'll go to counseling. I'll delete every account, cut ties with everyone, whatever you want. Just don't leave. I shook my head slowly. You still don't get it. It's not about deleting numbers or closing doors. It's about the fact that I don't see you as my wife anymore. You're a stranger wearing her face. She gasped softly, as if I had stabbed her. Don't say that. It's the truth, I whispered. She rushed toward me, grabbing my arm. Please. I made a mistake, but we can come back from this. We have to. I yanked my arm free. No. We don't have to. And I don't want to. I can't live with someone who thinks loyalty is negotiable. She collapsed to her knees, clutching my legs. I'll die without you. Please, William, please. I froze, looking down at her. This was the woman I once vowed to love forever. And now, all I felt was disgust. Get up, I said coldly. She shook her head, tears streaming. Not until you forgive me. I'll never forgive what you did, I replied. And I'll never accept what you're offering now. A marriage without loyalty is already a corpse. You're just asking me to pretend it's still breathing. She cried harder, her voice breaking into whispers. So you're leaving me? Yes, I said firmly. I'm leaving the illusion. I'm leaving the chains. I'm leaving the woman who killed my trust. Her hands slipped from my legs, and she crumpled onto the floor, sobbing. I stood there, my heart pounding, my mind screaming. But beneath the chaos, a strange clarity emerged. For the first time since this nightmare began, I felt certain. There was no going back. I whispered it to myself like a vow. I'm done. Divorce is the only way. That night, I lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling once again. But this time, the silence wasn't just heavy, it was final. Her offer still echoed in my ears. A free pass. As if I'd trade my pain for lust. As if betrayal could be balanced out like a ledger. I closed my eyes and whispered into the darkness, you broke me. But you won't keep me broken. And for the first time in months, I felt something close to peace. I sat at the dining table with my laptop open, scrolling through lists of family lawyers. Every name looked the same, expensive, intimidating, and necessary. My chest felt tight, but I forced myself to dial the first number. A woman's voice answered, Law Office of Raymond Patel. How can I help you? I need a consultation, I said, my voice shaking more than I wanted. Divorce. Custody. Property. The whole nightmare. She booked me for the next day. As I hung up, I felt her eyes on me from across the room. What are you doing? She asked softly. Taking back control, I said flatly. Her face darkened. You can't be serious. You're really going through with this? Yes, I replied. I warned you. I told you this marriage was dead. I'm not playing house anymore. She crossed her arms, her tone turning sharp. If you walk away, I'll make your life hell. I looked at her, stunned. There it is. The real you. She stepped closer, her eyes blazing. You think you can just take the kids? Take the house? No. I'll fight. I'll drag you through court until you're broke. My fists clenched. You betrayed me, and now you're threatening me? Do you hear yourself? Her voice dropped, cold and steady. You underestimate me. I'll tell the court you were controlling, that you neglected me. They'll believe a mother before they believe you. Rage shot through me. You'd lie under oath? You'd poison the kids against me just to win? She shrugged, her tears suddenly gone, replaced by a chilling smirk. I'll do what I have to. You're not taking them from me. I stared at her, my stomach twisting. For years, I thought I was forgiving a broken woman who made mistakes. But now I saw it, she wasn't broken. She was ruthless. The next day, I walked into Raymond Patel's office. He was a middle-aged man in a sharp suit, his eyes cold and clinical. Sit, he said, gesturing to the chair. I sat, gripping the edge of the seat. I don't even know where to start. Start with the truth, he said. Why are you here? I swallowed hard. My wife cheated. Repeatedly. This time with my best friend. I can't do it anymore. I want divorce. I want custody of my kids. But she's already threatening to destroy me. He leaned back, steepling his fingers. Do you have proof of the affair? Yes. Screenshots. Messages. Photos. Good, he said. That gives you leverage. But let me be clear, courts don't always care about infidelity unless it affects the children. Custody battles aren't about morality, they're about stability. My stomach sank. So I could still lose them? He nodded. Shared custody is the most likely outcome. Unless you can prove she's unfit. I shook my head. She's manipulative, reckless, but with them, she puts on a good show. They love her. He leaned forward. Then prepare yourself. You'll be fighting uphill. Property division will also be messy. The house, the savings, everything gets split. My throat tightened. I worked my whole life for them. And now I could lose everything. His tone was blunt, almost cruel. You won't lose everything. But you will lose something. That's the reality of divorce. I buried my face in my hands. How do people survive this? He didn't flinch. By deciding what matters most. Money? Pride? Or time with your kids? Focus on that, and cut the rest loose. I left the office with a folder of documents and a stomach full of lead. That evening, she was waiting at the door when I came home. Where were you? She demanded. Meeting a lawyer, I said. Her face twisted with fury. So it's war, then? No, I said quietly. It's survival. She scoffed. You think some lawyer is going to scare me? You're weak. Always have been. That's why I strayed. Her words cut deep, but I forced myself to stay calm. And that's why I'm done letting you own me. I'm not weak anymore. She stepped closer, her voice rising. If you leave, I'll ruin you. Do you hear me? I'll take everything. I'll turn the kids against you until they hate you. My voice cracked, but I didn't back down. You can try. But the truth has a way of showing itself. One day, they'll see who you really are. Her face faltered, just for a second. Then she stormed off, slamming the door behind her. Later, I sat on the porch, my head in my hands. My neighbor, Mr. Harris, shuffled over with his cane. He was in his 70s, a widower with a kind but weathered face. You look like hell, son, he said, lowering himself into the chair beside me. I laughed bitterly. That obvious? Obvious enough, he said. Wanna talk about it? I sighed. My wife cheated. I'm filing for divorce. She's threatening to destroy me in court. He nodded slowly. Betrayal. Cuts deeper than a knife. Feels like I can't breathe, I admitted. Like I'm losing everything. He tapped his cane on the porch. Listen to me. She can take your money. She can take your house. But don't let her take your peace. That's worth more than all the rest. I shook my head. Easy for you to say. He chuckled softly. I buried my wife 10 years ago. Trust me, I know loss. But I also know freedom. And son, the day you stop letting her control your mind, that's the day you start living again. I looked at him, his words sinking deep. But what about my kids? His eyes softened. Love them loud. Be steady, be present, and they'll know the truth. Kids see more than we give them credit for. She can spin lies, but your love will be proof. For the first time all day, I felt a flicker of hope. Thank you, I whispered. He patted my shoulder. One step at a time. Don't fight to win against her. Fight to win for yourself. That night, she cornered me again. Her face was streaked with tears, but her words were venom. You think some old man's advice will save you, she spat. I stiffened. You were listening? I heard everything, she hissed. And let me tell you, he's wrong. You won't have peace without me. You'll never move on. You'll crawl back. I looked her dead in the eyes. No. I won't. Not this time. She screamed, throwing a glass against the wall. It shattered into 1,000 pieces, echoing through the house. The kids came running down the stairs, their little faces pale with fear. "Mom? Dad? What's happening?" my eldest asked. I swallowed hard, forcing my voice steady. "Nothing you need to worry about. Go back upstairs." They hesitated, but she shouted, "Go to your rooms." They ran, tears in their eyes. I turned to her, my voice low and shaking. "This is exactly why I can't stay. Look at what you're doing to them. Look at what you've become." She trembled, but her anger didn't fade. "You'll regret this. You'll regret leaving me." I stepped past her, my hands trembling but my heart certain. "No. I'll regret staying." I lay awake again that night, the lawyer's words and Mr. Harris's wisdom echoing in my head. Custody battles. Property division. Threats. Lies. But also love. Freedom. Peace. For the first time, I wasn't just reacting. I was planning. And no matter how brutal the battle became, I knew one thing with absolute clarity: I would not let her control me anymore. I woke up that morning to the faint buzz of my phone. Dozens of messages in the group chat, all circling the same story: my best friend's wife had filed for divorce. She didn't just file, my brother's text read, she went public. I scrolled further. Screenshots. Posts. A whole narrative laid out in plain sight, exposing his late-night lies, his secret meetups, his smugness now burned into evidence. My heart pounded. For a moment, I didn't know whether to laugh or feel sick. When I walked into the kitchen, she was already there, scrolling on her phone. "You've seen it?" I asked. Her fingers froze. "What?" "Don't act surprised. It's everywhere." She looked up, pale. She actually did it?" "Yes," I said flatly. "She did what you thought no one had the guts to do." "She's crazy," she muttered, shaking her head. "She's ruining his life." I leaned against the counter. "No. He ruined his own life. She just showed the world the truth." Her eyes darted away, and for once, there was no sharp comeback, no smug deflection. Just silence. Later that day, my brother called. His voice was calm but edged with satisfaction. "You saw the storm?" he asked. "I did," I said. "It's surreal." "He's finished, at least socially," my brother replied. "And your wife won't stay shielded either. People talk. Whispers spread. Masks fall." "I know," I said, though I wasn't sure if I was reassuring him or myself. "You should feel some justice," he added. "I don't," I admitted. "It doesn't erase anything. Watching him fall doesn't glue me back together." "Of course not," he said softly. "But maybe it makes you less alone in the wreckage." That evening, I overheard her on the phone with her mother. "They're exaggerating," she hissed. "It wasn't like that. People always twist things." A pause. Her mother's muffled voice. "I know," she whispered. "But what if they start saying things about me?" I stepped into the living room. She flinched when she saw me. "You think you're untouchable?" I asked. Her jaw tightened. "Don't you dare stand there and gloat." "I'm not gloating," I said. "I'm just watching the same cracks you tried to hide." She slammed her phone down. "This isn't fair. She should have kept it private. Families get destroyed when things go public. Families get destroyed when people betray them," I snapped. Her lips trembled. For a moment, she looked like she wanted to argue, but no words came out. That night, lying in bed, I couldn't sleep. My kids' laughter from earlier replayed in my head, innocent and pure. They didn't know about the storm building around us, the whispers at school, the sideways glances from neighbors. In the dark, she whispered, "Do you think they'll hear things?" "They already do," I said. She turned toward me, voice shaking. "I don't want them to hate me." "They won't," I said bitterly. "They'll just grow up confused, wondering why their father looked like a ghost in his own home." She pulled the blanket tighter, but didn't answer. The next morning, my neighbor caught me outside. He was an older man, always watering his plants, always quiet. This time, he set the hose down and walked over. "Tough days?" he asked gently. I gave a short laugh. "You could say that." "I read about your friend," he said. "Ugly business." "Yeah." I shoved my hands into my pockets. "Feels like watching someone drown in the same storm that wrecked me." He nodded. Betrayal has a way of surfacing. No matter how deep people bury it. I glanced at him. "You sound like you've seen it before." "I have," he said simply. "My wife, years ago." Different faces, same story. "What did you do?" I asked quietly. He looked me dead in the eyes. "I left. Took years to rebuild, but I can breathe now." "You can't breathe inside poison." I swallowed hard. "It's not that easy. Kids complicate everything." "They do," he said. "But kids also sense lies. They know when love rots. Staying in rot doesn't protect them, it just teaches them to accept it." His words lingered long after I walked back inside. Later, she cornered me in the kitchen again. "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" she accused. "What?" I asked. "Watching him burn. Watching me squirm." I shook my head. "You think this is joy?" "No. This is just proof that masks don't last forever." "You don't understand," she said desperately. I thought we could move past it. Pretend. For the kids." I laughed bitterly. "Pretend? That's your solution? Pretend until the lies eat us alive?" Tears welled in her eyes. "I made a mistake. One mistake. One mistake." I snapped. "It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Over and over. With my best friend." She broke down, covering her face. "I don't know what to do anymore." "For once," I said coldly, "maybe just stop pretending." The days blurred. Everywhere I went, there were murmurs. A coworker hesitated before asking, "Hey, is it true about," then quickly shut up. At my kids' school, I caught two parents whispering near the parking lot. When they saw me, their smiles froze, too polished to be real. My son asked at dinner, "Dad, why do people look at us funny?" I froze. She looked down at her plate, silent. "Because people talk too much," I said gently. "You don't need to worry about it." "Did we do something wrong?" my daughter asked. "No," I said quickly. "You didn't do anything wrong." Their little faces searched mine, waiting for answers I couldn't give. My chest ached with the weight of it. That night, I sat on the couch staring at nothing. She sat across from me, her face pale, her voice trembling. "I'm scared," she whispered. "Of what?" I asked. "Of losing everything. The kids. You. Our home." I shook my head. "You already lost me." She flinched. "Don't say that. It's the truth." Her tears spilled. "We can fix it. Please. I'll do anything. Anything except undo what you did," I said. "That's the one thing you can't give back." The silence stretched, heavy as a tomb. In the following days, news about my friend's downfall spread like wildfire. His company suspended him. His colleagues distanced themselves. His confident face, the same one that once smirked at me, was now plastered online under headlines he couldn't control. I should have felt triumphant. Instead, I felt hollow. His ruin didn't erase my nights of insomnia, my kids' confused stares, the shattered pieces of my marriage. At dinner one night, my daughter suddenly asked, "Mom, why are you sad all the time?" Her fork slipped, clattering against the plate. "I'm fine, sweetheart," she whispered. My son frowned. "You and Dad don't laugh anymore." The air froze. I forced a smile. "We love you both. That's what matters." But even as I said it, I knew they could feel the cracks. Children always feel the truth beneath the silence. Lying in bed that night, I whispered into the dark, "Karma works slow, but it works." She stirred beside me. "What did you say?" "Nothing," I muttered. But inside, I knew it wasn't nothing. The cracks in her mask were spreading, just like his. And maybe, finally, the truth was stronger than the lies. The morning started with a pile of papers on the kitchen table. Court summons, custody forms, affidavits, each one a reminder that the war had begun. I ran my hands over them, feeling the weight of a battle I had never trained for. She was at the stove, stirring coffee, her eyes darting toward me every few seconds. "Busy already?" she asked sweetly, pretending like she hadn't spent the last 2 weeks plotting against me. I didn't answer. I kept sorting the papers. "You're going to ruin everything, you know," she said, leaning against the counter. "The kids, the family, everyone will hate you." I looked up, keeping my voice calm. "I'm not ruining anything. I'm protecting them." Her lips curled. "Protecting them? By dragging us through court? By turning their world upside down?" I slammed a folder down. "I'm not turning their world upside down. You already did that. I'm just trying to fix the mess you made." She narrowed her eyes. "Mess? You call us a mess? You don't get to lecture me, William. You don't know what it's like to feel invisible. I've seen you, and I've forgave you too many times," I said, my voice low but firm. "Invisible or not, betrayal doesn't get excuses. Not anymore." She huffed and turned away, but her words lingered. I buried them in the piles of paperwork, focusing on what mattered, the kids and the courtroom. My first meeting with my lawyer, Raymond Patel, was brutal. "Mr. Khan," he began, scanning my documents, "you're in for a long fight. Custody is going to be complicated. She's already trying to influence the kids against you." "I know," I said, swallowing hard. "I heard her, she's been telling them I'm breaking the family." He leaned back. "You need to stay calm. The kids hear a lot, but they also see a lot. You stay steady, predictable. Don't give her ammo." "I want to yell at her," I admitted. "I want her to feel the fear I feel every time I hear her words echo in their heads." Raymond's expression was unflinching. "You might feel that. But your job is to be the anchor for your children, not a storm. Keep your composure. Document everything. Every interaction, every threat, every attempt to manipulate." I nodded. "I can do that. I have to." "Good," he said. "Because if you lose control even once, it could tip the balance in her favor. Courts respect restraint. They respect parents who put the kids first, no matter how ugly the other parent gets." The next day, I picked the kids up from school. My youngest ran into my arms, smiling. "Daddy," she exclaimed. "Hey, sweetheart," I said, lifting her. Her laughter should have warmed me, but the weight of her mother's words followed. "Did Mom say you're taking us away?" my eldest asked, a frown creasing his forehead. My stomach tightened. I knelt down to their level. "No. That's not true. Mommy might say things because she's upset. But I'm not taking you anywhere. You're safe." They looked at me, eyes wide, searching for the truth in my face. "You promise?" my middle child asked. "I promise," I said, holding their hands. "No matter what anyone says, I will always be here for you." Her voice, my wife's, echoed from the doorway. "Teaching them lies again?" I turned slowly. "I'm teaching them the truth." She stepped closer, voice low but sharp. "You think they'll believe you over me? You'll see, William. They'll repeat what I say, and it'll look like you're the villain. I'll do my best to show them otherwise," I said quietly. "And that's all I can do." She smirked, and for a moment, I saw that same smugness I once trusted. But this time, it didn't frighten me. Court hearings were worse than I imagined. She arrived with her lawyer, perfectly coiffed, a mask of innocence. "You're making a huge mistake," she whispered when she saw me. I didn't respond. I kept my focus on the children, on Raymond, on the forms I had memorized. Inside the courtroom, the judge's eyes were sharp. "Mr. Khan, you filed for primary custody. Your wife disputes this." I want you to present evidence of your parenting abilities and any reasons the children's stability would be better with you. I felt my heart pound. Raymond nudged me. Keep calm. Stick to facts. No emotion. I swallowed. Your Honor, I've documented every interaction. Every school report. Every instance of her attempting to manipulate the children's perception of me. I've provided proof, and I'm committed to their well-being. I want stability for them, not drama. She leaned forward. Objection. That's exaggeration. He's overreacting. I've never said anything to influence them. I glanced at her, unflinching. Your Honor, I have recordings, texts, and witnesses. They are consistent and factual. The judge nodded. I will review all evidence carefully. Custody decisions will prioritize the children's emotional and physical safety. Her eyes narrowed, a silent threat. But I met her gaze, steady and unbroken. After court, we returned home. She cornered me in the hallway. You think the judge will see through your little tricks? She hissed. I'm not tricking anyone, I said. I'm being honest. You should try it sometime. Her face twisted in anger. You'll pay for this, William. I'll make sure everyone thinks you're the monster. I've already been painted a monster in your stories, I replied. Doesn't scare me anymore. You're arrogant, she spat. And one day, that arrogance will be your downfall. I shook my head. No. My downfall is staying silent while lies spread. I choose action. I choose truth. At night, I watched the kids asleep. My eldest had curled up with a book, oblivious to the chaos outside their room. My youngest hugged her stuffed bear, dreaming, innocent of betrayal. I whispered softly, I'll protect you. No matter what she says, no matter what happens in court, you're safe with me. Her voice pierced my mind again. You can't control everything. No, I said aloud, voice firm. But I can control what matters most, my love for them, my presence in their lives. Days turned into weeks. Paperwork stacked higher. Court dates multiplied. Each time I tried to sleep, I imagined her whispering lies to the children, saw the judge frowning at some manipulated statement. Raymond called regularly. Keep documenting. Keep calm. Her tactics will escalate. You stay the steady parent. That's your advantage. I feel like I'm walking a tightrope, I admitted. One wrong step, and she'll spin it against me. That's the game, he said. But you're playing smarter than her. Always be the adult. Always be the anchor. Kids recognize stability, even if the other parent doesn't. I hung up, staring at the ceiling, feeling exhaustion seep into my bones. She found me in the living room the next evening. Your kids are scared, she said softly, voice almost pleading. They're scared of losing their family, I said quietly. Not of me. No, she said, shaking her head. They're scared of you. They hear what you say at dinner, and it terrifies them. You're twisting everything, just like you always do. I clenched my fists. I'm not twisting anything. I'm trying to protect them from the lies you plant in their minds. Her eyes glistened with tears, but the venom never left her voice. You're making this worse, William. You think the court will see you as a hero? You're just as guilty of tearing this family apart. I'm guilty of wanting honesty, I said. And I'm guilty of refusing to stay silent while you manipulate our children. That's all. She recoiled, as if struck, but didn't respond. That night, I lay in bed, exhausted, but my resolve hardened. The battle wasn't over. She would try every trick, every tear, every whispered word. But I had the truth, the law, and my unwavering love for my children on my side. As I closed my eyes, I whispered, we will get through this. No matter what she says, no matter what she does, I will protect you. For the first time in days, the tension lifted slightly. Not because the war was won, but because I had decided firmly where I stood. The road to war was long, but I was ready. I saw the messages first thing in the morning. My best friend's wife had posted updates about the divorce proceedings. He had lost almost everything, his company shares frozen, his friends turning their backs, his reputation shredded across social media. I stared at the phone, numb. Part of me wanted to cheer, but most of me felt hollow. His downfall didn't erase the nights I had cried, didn't bring back the years of betrayal, didn't undo the lies whispered in my home. She appeared in the kitchen, her voice tentative. "William, did you see the news?" "Yes," I said, keeping my tone flat. "I've seen it." Her fingers trembled as she held the mug. "It's awful, isn't it?" "Awful is watching your children suffer because of choices you made," I said sharply. She flinched but didn't answer. Later, I went to check on the kids before school. They were oblivious to the storm outside, laughing over breakfast, spilling cereal, bickering about cartoons. For a moment, I envied their innocence. Then my wife's voice pierced the morning. "Don't let him scare you," she said, smiling too brightly. "Daddy's just upset because he cares too much." I knelt down, fixing my son's shirt. "He doesn't scare you. He just wants you to know the truth." Her eyes flicked toward me, sharp and calculating. "The truth can be dangerous, you know. Kids should be protected. They are protected." "I'm here, listening, answering, being present," I said, voice calm but firm. "Everything else is her problem." She said nothing, and for once, I didn't care that she glared. Raymond called mid-morning. "The documents are in order. Court date set. Custody evaluation is next week." I ran a hand through my hair. "I'm exhausted. This never ends." "It ends when the truth is proven," he said. "Keep calm. Let them expose themselves. Don't give them any reason to doubt you." "I know," I said, but a bitter part of me wanted to yell, to scream at all the deceit, to make her feel a fraction of the pain. "That's why you're stronger than them," he added. "You're playing by rules. They're acting on impulse. It'll show." By mid-afternoon, I heard it, the first whispers in our neighborhood. "Did you see what happened to him?" Everything falling apart. I tried to ignore it, but I could feel it in my chest, the tiny stab of satisfaction mixed with fatigue. She came into the living room, voice trembling, eyes wide. "People are talking, they know everything now. Your friend, and me." I looked at her steadily. "You finally see the consequences of your choices." Tears welled in her eyes. "William, please. I made a mistake. I can fix it. I can make it right. Let me explain. Let me." "No," I said firmly, cutting her off. "You can't fix this. You can't undo what you did." Her shoulders sagged, her lips quivering. I thought I could have both. Him and you. I thought. "You thought wrong," I said quietly. "You destroyed trust, peace, and stability. And for what? Nothing lasts from lies." She sobbed quietly, collapsing onto the couch. "I'm sorry. I swear I'm sorry. We can start over. I'll do anything." I shook my head, voice cold. "Not anymore. This isn't love, it's damage. And I'm done." Later that evening, my best friend called. The number flashed on my phone, and I didn't answer immediately. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me. "William," he said, voice trembling. "Can we talk?" "You should have thought of that before," I said flatly. "Before you ruined everything. Before you betrayed me. I lost everything," he admitted, almost whispering. "My wife, my job, people won't speak to me. I don't know what to do." I felt no sympathy, only the hollow echo of what his betrayal cost me. "You made your bed," I said. "Now lie in it." "I didn't mean for it to go this far," he said, voice cracking. "It just happened." "It didn't just happen," I snapped. "You chose it. Over and over. Lies don't just happen. People don't get destroyed by accident. You did this. All of it." "I'm sorry," he said again, and I could hear the panic in his voice. "I never thought it would end like this." "Well," I said, "it did. And now you have to live with it. The world doesn't forgive betrayal, not really." She tried one last time that night. She came to the bedroom, barefoot, holding her hands together, eyes pleading. "William, please," she whispered. "I've realized. I don't want to lose you. We can start fresh. Forget the past. Please, I can't. I can't do this without you." I sat up, the fatigue of months pressing on me. "Start fresh?" I asked slowly. "Do you know what that means?" "It means trust rebuilt. It means honesty. It means loyalty. You've destroyed all of that. You can't give it back." "But I can try," she said, voice cracking. "I'll do anything. Anything. Just come back to me. The kids, us." I shook my head. "No. You can't undo betrayal. You can't erase the years of pain. You can't make me love someone who keeps choosing deceit." Her sobs filled the room. "Please. I'll change. I swear I'll change." "Too late," I said, my voice cold but steady. "Too late. You're not the woman I loved. You're the architect of your own ruin. That's all you are now." She gasped, like my words were knives cutting through the final illusions. "I won't look back," I continued. "I won't forgive this. And I won't let you drag my children into your lies anymore. You've lost. All of it. Every last bit of it." She collapsed onto the floor, face pressed into her hands, sobs echoing in the silent room. I stood, unmoving, watching her face crumble. The next few days were surreal. My best friend's collapse was total. Social media posts chronicled every misstep, every financial ruin. His colleagues whispered behind closed doors. The same smug, arrogant man who had once laughed at me in bars and offices was now a pariah, stripped of status, stripped of dignity. My wife faded into the background, whispers about her affair reaching our neighbors. Invitations dried up, friendly faces avoided us. The sympathy she expected never arrived. Instead, she was isolated, staring at the ruins she created. I should have felt relief, but instead, there was only emptiness. Justice didn't erase heartbreak. Karma didn't give me comfort, it only reminded me of how much was lost. I watched my kids laugh in the living room, oblivious to the wreckage of adulthood surrounding them. For the first time in months, I felt a flicker of hope. Despite all the betrayal, the lies, the manipulation, they remained untouched by it. My focus returned to them, and for the first time, I realized, my love, my presence, my truth, that was all that mattered. She tried one final conversation at dinner. "William, can we talk? Please, just one last time?" I looked at her across the table, her eyes wet, trembling. "No," I said. "I won't. You are not my wife anymore. You are the person who made your choices, and now you live with them." Her fork clattered to the plate. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. I turned to my children. "Finish your meal," I said gently. "We'll read your story after." She watched silently as I smiled at them, helping them with homework later, tucking them in, kissing their foreheads. They looked up at me, trusting, safe. For them, I had reclaimed everything that had been lost in the adult chaos. Lying in bed that night, I whispered to the dark, "It's done. They've fallen. She's fallen. I've survived. Now, I live for the ones who matter." She stirred briefly, but I didn't speak to her. I knew who she was now, not my wife, not my partner, not my friend, but the architect of her own ruin. And I finally saw clearly. I had lost the illusions, but I had my life back, in the only form that mattered, with my children, with truth, with a heart no longer chained by betrayal. The echoes of the past would fade. The storm had passed. And for the first time, I felt like myself again. The final divorce papers sat on the table in front of me, crisp, clean, official. I stared at them, hardly daring to breathe. This was it, the last signature, the final seal on years of chaos, betrayal, and sleepless nights. She hovered nearby, voice quiet, almost broken. "So, this is it?" "Yes," I said softly, holding the pen. "It's over." Her eyes shimmered. "After everything, we tried. Can't we at least talk?" I've said everything that needed saying, I replied. We've already crossed the line too many times. There's nothing left to salvage. Her shoulders slumped. She glanced at the kids' drawings pinned to the fridge, her lips trembling. The kids, will they? They'll be fine, I said. We have joint custody. You'll see them, but I will be there for them, too. Every day. You just need to respect the boundaries we've set. She nodded silently. I handed her the pen. She hesitated before signing, then slid it back across the table like a defeated soldier. Raymond, my lawyer, leaned back in his chair, giving me a small nod. Congratulations. This is a clean break. Custody, property, everything in order. Now it's about moving forward. I exhaled slowly, the tension in my chest loosening for the first time in months. Forward, I repeated, almost tasting the word. Forward sounded foreign, unfamiliar. But it was mine to claim. You deserve peace, William, he said. You played it right. You stayed consistent. You stayed present. That matters in ways the law can't fully measure. I smiled faintly. Presence, yes. I'll give them that. That's my priority. The rest, I shook my head, letting the weight of the past roll off me, piece by piece. The kids came running in as I folded the papers. My youngest, beaming, held out a drawing. Look, Daddy. We made this for you. I crouched down, taking it in. Crayon scribbles, stick figures, smiling faces. This is amazing, I said. Thank you. Are you happy now? My eldest asked, curiosity and worry mingling in his eyes. I held his shoulders gently. Yes, I'm happy. Not because everything is perfect, but because things are honest now. We'll have to rebuild, but rebuild together. And you'll stay with us? My middle child asked. Every day I can, I said firmly. We're a team. Nothing changes that. Her voice, my wife's, trembled from the doorway. William, can we, at least talk calmly now? For the kids? I shook my head slowly. We'll communicate when necessary, but the time for emotional negotiations is over. We both have to respect the new boundaries. That's the best thing for them. That night, I tucked the children into bed, kissed their foreheads, and whispered, sleep well. We're safe. We're together. No lies, no secrets, just us. Their eyes closed, smiles lingering even in dreams. I left the room quietly, feeling a strange mix of relief and emptiness. It was liberating, yes, but also bitter. I sat alone in the living room, staring at the silence, and finally allowed myself to breathe. The storm had passed, but the air was still thick with memories. She appeared again, hesitant. William, can I say one thing? You can speak, I said, voice steady. I'm sorry. I see now, everything I destroyed. I thought I was seeking happiness, but I only created pain. And now, I see you didn't need me to survive. You're right, I said quietly. I didn't. I survived because I chose my truth. Because I chose my children. Because I refused to let lies define my life. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Do you forgive me? I shook my head. No. Forgiveness implies a return to trust. That's gone. What I can do is move forward without hatred. You can't undo the past, but neither can it control me anymore. Her shoulders sagged. She left the room without another word. I didn't follow. I didn't need to. The next few weeks were strange but calm. The house felt different without constant tension, without whispered threats or hidden agendas. Each morning, I walked the children to school, hearing their laughter, answering their questions, helping with homework, celebrating small victories. Daddy, can we go to the park today? My youngest asked one afternoon. Of course, I said, smiling. After lunch, we'll go. Her eyes lit up. Yay! Best daddy ever. I laughed, ruffling her hair. You know it. Don't tell your siblings, or they'll want the same title. They already do, the eldest shouted from the couch, grinning. I chuckled, feeling a warmth I hadn't experienced in years. It wasn't the thrill of love or the comfort of marriage, it was steadiness, presence, reliability. It was something deeper. Something real. She tried to reach out a few more times. Text messages, short calls, hesitant knocks on the door. Each time, I responded with clarity and boundaries. "William, I miss what we had," she said once. "What we had is gone," I replied. "I won't live in illusion anymore. You can't give it back, and I won't pretend." Another time, "I just want to see the kids. They're with me. But visits are arranged. No interference, no manipulation. That's the deal." Her silence afterward said more than any argument ever could. One evening, I sat on the porch with a cup of tea, watching the sun dip behind the rooftops. The sky was streaked with orange and pink, peaceful and unyielding. I reflected on the journey, 17 years of marriage, countless opportunities to cheat, endless forgiveness, the ultimate betrayal, and finally, the slow reclaiming of my life. I whispered to the night, I thought betrayal destroyed me. But it only burned away the lies, leaving me standing stronger, even if scarred. And it was true. I felt it in my bones, in the calm of the house, in the soft breathing of my children upstairs. Pain had come, yes. Loss had come. But so had survival. And from survival, strength was born. The days that followed were structured but gentle. School runs, homework, bedtime stories, occasional laughter. No manipulation, no hidden messages, no pretenses. Freedom tasted bitter and sweet, but mostly real. I allowed myself small indulgences, reading a book while they played, taking them to the park, listening to their dreams, their fears, their tiny triumphs. Each moment was a stitch in the tapestry of a new life, one I had earned, one I had fought for. I called my brother one afternoon. "It's done," I said. "I knew you could do it," he replied. "It wasn't easy, but you stayed the course. That matters more than people realize." "I feel lighter," I admitted. "But the scars, they'll stay. Not just mine, but theirs too." "That's okay," he said. "Scars remind us where we've been, but they don't define where we're going." I spent an hour that evening sorting through old mementos, pictures, notes, gifts. Some I kept, for memories of what was good. Others I tossed, letting them go. Each object I discarded felt like a weight lifted, a lie released, a step closer to clarity. She sent a final message, "I hope one day you find happiness." I stared at it, thumb hovering. Then I deleted it. I didn't need her words to validate my life. My happiness would be my own creation, built on truth, love for my children, and a newfound resilience. That night, I kissed the children's foreheads, whispered goodnight, and lay down alone in a quiet house. The emptiness was not loneliness, it was freedom, hard-earned and well-deserved. I closed my eyes, reflecting on the road traveled, loyalty, betrayal, heartbreak, rage, strategy, survival. The journey had scarred me, yes, but it had also forged me. I thought betrayal destroyed me, I whispered into the dark, repeating the words like a mantra. But it only burned away the lies, leaving me standing stronger, even if scarred. And finally, I believed it.